welcome once again to the Entrepreneurs Launch. This is episode number 5, and we are here today with one of the most important people in the innovation ecosystem around here in Mbarara. We are so happy to have you all as usual, and I hope that we can be engaging, we can be chill, we can relax, and at the end of the day, live here when we have some smile and something that we have learned that takes us forward. So first things we are going to do today before he introduces himself is for us to do a quick round. You just tell us who you are, what you do, and how you would want to be helped. You never know, someone somewhere may be listening. Okay? Yeah, we are innovators, we are entrepreneurs, so we speak and we speak with energy.
Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to the 5th episode of the Entrepreneurs Launch. And my name is Emmanuel Maleka Simba. I'm a pharmaceutical analyst and I deal in product formulations and development. So I'm interested in a cough syrup for this kind of gathering, and it takes away your cough in just 2 days. Yeah, with minimal side effects to the patient. Yeah, it's called Cough DS syrup. Yeah, thank you very much. My ask, I'd like to connect with you guys and be able to forge partnerships with your ventures so that in future we can be able to move together and earn a living together. Yeah, so that we can scale our innovations. I know everyone is dealing in something. It could be a service, it could be a product, or even a business. Yeah, so nice to meet you all.
Maurice Mlopi. I'm a biomedical engineer by profession, and I'm currently engaged with Sync Biomedicals Limited, where we do medical equipment supplies, repairs, servicing, and all things related to in the line of medical consumables. So I'm so delighted to be here with you for this precious evening. Thank you very much.
My name is Eliud Chelangat. I am a pharmaceutical scientist by profession, an athlete by training. I work with athletes. Currently, I'm also training as an athlete as well as working with athletes. So what I do, or what we do, we supply athletes with water that is specifically designed for them. I've carried a bottle. Actually, along the way, I end up finishing it. And yeah, this is the water. It equips athletes with all the necessary ingredients or the necessary nutrients that allows them to keep going, keep running. They don't get tired quickly, and they can easily win. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Lisa Wambua. From Kenya, and I'm a student pursuing masters in microbiology. Yeah.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Musau.
Yeah, my name is Musawi Emmanuel. I'm a medical lab scientist by profession and specializing in microbiology now. I'm doing masters in medical microbiology. So innovation-wise, I'm developing a diagnostic kit for detecting H. pylori, the one that causes stomach ulcers. So what I'm doing is that I'm using a new method, a new technology that looks for the DNA of that pathogen. The current methods look for the antibody antigens. If you have realized, in most cases when you test for ulcers, sometimes it's always positive, or it may be negative depending on how you present yourself. But the current methods, which are cheap, that we can afford, are inaccurate. The good methods that are there, like PCR, culture, they do histopathology, they are very expensive. So that's where I come in now. So my ask this evening is that how do I move from this prototype to having a startup company? Like, I know it may look so early, but my end goal in this is to have a biotech company dealing with in diagnostics.
My name is Kasoria Richard. I run a cleaning company. It's called Swift Clean. We serve busy professionals, we serve students. We also serve small businesses as well as big businesses such as Airbnbs, guest houses, and hotels. So our services include laundry, dry cleaning, home cleaning, carpet and sofa cleaning, and fumigation. My request to every one of you is that you come and support us, and you also refer us in your circles.
I'm a customer.
Thank you.
Personally, I'm a customer.
Yeah, you're a customer. Emily is a new customer. I urge the rest of you to join. Thank you.
Lisa.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Yes. Good evening, sir. My name is Martin Tumukunde, and I'm a student at MUST in my final year doing medicine and surgery. For purposes of this setting, I'm a chairman and a founder of an investment club called MBR 21 Investment Club, which has 12 members, and we've been running it for 3 years now. Currently, we've been doing investment in capital markets, the low risk, and we've developed a portfolio of quite a number of investments in different money market options. We're at a level where we want to now dive into active business and probably throw in our capital to catch the bigger profits. But also, we, as part of the same investment club, we import medical equipment, and we have things from scrubs, clinical coats, glucometers, and anything they use in the hospital. What I ask of you, well, one, I am in this place to get insights from entrepreneurs. I love knowing how other people think, but also I want to interact with people in this field and get to listen in on how you're doing it and how we will probably do it better. And maybe if there are potential clients, I would be happy to, leave this place with a few connections and networks. Thank you.
Alex Nwamanya. I traveled with our guest. I have one foot in manufacturing, the other in some bits of entrepreneurship in terms of sales. But basically, we specialize in manufacturing, research, and development. I'm sure the guest will be able to give a better overview. So for this time, I thank you, and I'm glad to be here to meet all of us. My ask is, especially for people who I believe have been in market more than, have been, I want to understand what really sells on market. Is it the product, or it's the process of selling it, the presentation and so forth? Thank you.
Yeah, good evening to us all. My name is Tony Chimtos. I'm a teacher by profession and also a microbiologist. As far as innovation is concerned, I deal with biotechnology, and I'm currently developing a sustainable biopesticide that intends to replace the toxic and hazardous pesticides that are currently used in Uganda. We also looking at some other products which are produced sustainably in the lab, including anti-cancer products. So I've come here specifically to listen to people with different ideas because that's what I like most. Thank you.
Good evening to us all. My name is Prince, Ishimwe Prince. I am a student. I am also an entrepreneur like each one of us here. And some of you have met me before in different competitions, trying to compete for some money. But here I am. And for innovation, well, I've been co-founding a few things and then I'm kicked out, all that stuff. It's not an easy journey. But I am a person who loves software engineering so much. Like it can even take my life. And I'm doing something within software engineering, not just building for people, but for myself. And when it is ready, I think we shall be communicating because we are now a small group of people. But by that time, we shall be a very large number of people. And so you can be my first customers. And by career-wise, I'm a humanitarian. I co-found an NGO that is working and doing well in Rwanda. And you can never know in the future you can be a beneficiary of that organization. Thank you all.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm Edgar Mtungsa. I am an East African at heart. I'm so much into East Africa, so much. I pay taxes in Kenya currently. I pay taxes in Tanzania. I also pay as you earn in Uganda. No, not yet. Yes, but I do consulting, literally. And I do so much of grant writing. And these days, I do so much of criticism of some of the grants that I think some of you write. So, yeah, yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, so I'm glad to be here. And maybe also my ask is that I had someone who is dealing in finance. I'm too much interested in finance, especially I think in the infrastructure bonds in Kenya. Yeah, I already have some bonds with the BOU here in our capital markets, but I haven't got into the space in Nairobi in Kenya. Maybe later you could advise. So this one could be so I could be your client if you do advise very well and happen to invest there. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lubama Pasi Aquila, a second-year student at MUST, pursuing a bachelor's degree of science with education. In relation to innovation, I'm currently working on an application called LessonX, which I consider to be a combination or a ChatGPT plus Canva for the teachers and by the teachers. It's used by educators to create lesson plans, upload them, it provides templates. In addition to it, it's AI powered. Then my ask today, I'd love to connect with anyone who may be in the space of software engineering, maybe like Prince has said he is, then as well as people who are, well, very conversant with AI manipulation as well as creation. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Filda Abuno. I'm a recent graduate at MUST. Currently, I'm a project officer at Center for Research Uptake in Africa. And we deal in research, conservation work, and livelihood development. So my ask would be, one, I'd love to network with everyone here. And then two, in my tenure as project officer, we are rolling out tutorials to teach people basics in research, because I think that's a fundamental thing in defining what your problem is, regardless if you're an innovator, business person, or just someone in academia. You need to know what the problem you're trying to solve. So we are rolling out different short courses to teach people. So I'm also hoping to have a few entrants to that from here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Guys, good evening, everyone. Yeah, my name is Emily Msimenta. I'm a pharmaceutical scientist by profession. I'm also actually pursuing a master's in pharmacology. As for the innovation, currently I'm a poultry farmer, basically dealing in chicken and eggs. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry for that. Yes, so I have a testimony actually. Before I can do the ask, last week I was here and I was telling these guys, you need to keep asking, because when you don't ask, we do not understand why you are here and we may never help you. So last week I used an example and I said, let's say my ask today is to meet the manager of Cafe Kandra, and I think he was in the room. And to meet the manager of Cafe Kandra to give me business in supplying him with chicken. And those guys actually made an order yesterday and I delivered 10 pieces of chicken. Yeah. So you guys, you need to understand the power of asking, because when you do not ask, we don't understand why you are here. So my week's ask, this week's ask, is for anyone in the room to connect me to a chairperson of any wedding meeting, introduction, I don't know, any events, so that I can supply you with chicken for your event. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I almost thought I'm in the wrong place until someone talked about software engineering. So I have my kin in the place. I'm Wes Kambale. I'm a machine learning engineer, data scientist, and Google developer expert for artificial intelligence.
Google developer expert.
Come on. So I mainly work on generative AI and machine translation. So probably somewhere you've used an AI that I have a hand in, or two. We're also working with a couple of other young people in Uganda to build our own local AI within Uganda that understands our local context. Two of those models are already available online. We're just trying to go through the process of making them available to you and, for use and development. On the other side, I also have an NGO I'm running. And specifically, it's about teaching the young generation about AI, artificial intelligence. So we do have programs running through the year in different cohorts, teaching people. We've had 4 cohorts this year with people learning and building stuff with AI. And also now that we are training people, so the next step is, can we now build things out of these skills that we are, getting? All right. So my ask really would be that I'm in the market for a non-technical co-founder, someone that can join me in this organization, mostly to handle administration or administrative tasks. For the technical part, we're trying to do or handle that. So that's me.
Finally, I introduce myself. My name is Victor Mugambe. I'm a man who puts on very many hats. Currently in this space, I want to be called the co-founder of the Entrepreneurs Lounge, a space which we enjoy, a space which we like. I've seen people like this space, they enjoy it. We get from here, we learn a lot of things, and it's almost always amazing. But apart from that, I started up a company which is turning local waste into biodegradable plastics, which can actually, our goal is to replace everything that doesn't degrade with something that degrades. And this is coming from a person who is from the background is the oil and gas industry, which has supplied you with all the chemicals and materials the world has ever seen. But I'm here and I think we can do better and become sustainable. When he was talking about AI, I got so much interested. That is one field I am so much not actually interested, but I've also tried to do some things there. But the issue is the time. Sometimes the time, you people, you need to sit, you need to think, you need to do. And I hope that one day we can have a discussion, especially on the AI infrastructure, in general, the AI stack from the energy to the chips, and then we shall be able to see where do we lie as Uganda. That would be a very interesting conversation. But today, we are so happy to have a person most of us look up to, especially people from the pharmaceutical sciences. I'm so happy. I'm seeing very many faces here. And apart from that, this gentleman here you are seeing has been, he has earned his PhD recently. A hand clap. It's not easy. A PhD is not easy. None of us has it here. Now, okay, none of you is on, I don't know, someone may be on track. But I'm so happy to have him today. He's doing a lot of science, he's doing a lot of innovation. He's also a co-founder of Novel Medicinal Formulations. He has done a lot of work in this space, and he's also a person, at least one of the few people who have moved away from academia and went into product development and into commercialization to a certain degree. So the conversation is going to rotate mostly around that. Where do we, how do we, when do we move from academia to innovations? And then most importantly, today why I was so excited when this came up is because China, to me, is one of those. I saw Jensen Huang, the NVIDIA CEO, saying that the US is ahead just by 6 months in the AI race. But China is doing most of the work. Their ecosystem is so good, like he's scared that probably in the next 2 years, China is going to be leading the AI race and in the innovation sector and everything. So we'd also love to know how far China is and how far Uganda is and how do you compare. I don't always want to make that comparison, but why not? We can try it. So I'll just say you introduce yourself and start right away. Tell us, where do you think we are in terms of innovations and the entrepreneurial ecosystem?
Okay, thank you so much. I think you've already introduced me. There's not too much I would say in terms of my introduction, because hope I'm audible enough. I didn't want to be very far, that's why.
Okay, we can push.
Okay. I'll try to raise my voice.
Okay.
My name is Dr. Jimmy Angupale, that you already know. I'm also a pharmaceutical scientist. I think you've heard many people here talk about being a pharmaceutical scientist.
And they proudly add PHS somewhere. I don't know where that thing come from, but PHS Maleka, PHS Eliud, it's amazing.
So I was a pioneer student for PHS in MUST. MUST is the only university in Uganda currently run PHS. When we say PHS, we mean Bachelors of Pharmaceutical Sciences or Bachelors of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences. I teach, lecture, so most of the people who are saying they're pharmaceutical scientists here were at one time my students. So apart from lecturing, I also work with the Pharmaceutical Biotechnology and Traditional Medicine Center. That is Farm Biotech. Those who are in MUST, I'm sure you have heard that Africa Center of Excellence called Farm Biotech. So I run a lab there as the product development officer. Then I also have this startup company. It's not a company that is very big. So it is focusing on product formulation development, and we're also trying to change some products in the market. But our focus mainly is on standardization and improving the quality of pharmaceutical products that are locally innovated. So that once these are proven to be very efficacious, they can now be moved to large manufacturing industries as we focus more on innovations. We do not want to stress ourselves with the manufacturing and distribution. So this startup company is mainly focusing on product innovations, especially in pharmaceutical, drugs, cosmetics, something of that sort. So we are in that space. So I've had you describe the things that you are doing. I'm glad that you are all thinking about innovation. You're all thinking about creating something new. Innovation is, I think, to me, innovation is all about making it better, making life better, finding ways to do things in the most efficient way, and trying to make the humanity lively or happy in different things that we are doing. Though right now you're focusing about on money and what, but the purpose of innovation is really not about money. It's about the lives that you change, what your product is doing to people. We're talking about health. Its focus is to treat. That means you're looking at people being healthy. That's the main focus. So money comes as a catalyst. It's more like I don't want to say a prize, but it is just something that facilitates you to be able to deliver that service or to be able to deliver that product to the communities to make life better. So I've been privileged to be in China for 1 month. We had a training in China for 1 month on pharmaceutical management. So we had the chance to visit the industries, to see. We spent two weeks, I think, in universities, then also in the hospitals. So we wanted to see the chain of pharmaceutical development, manufacturing, the whole chain, ecosystem, how it works. So you see, the power of innovation to me is actually on the ecosystem. If the ecosystem is not, I don't want to use the word support, but it should be able to be a facilitator, enabler, a key enabler of success in innovations is the ecosystem. So you asked me how Uganda compares with China. I just want to tell you what happened when we were there. After being there for 1 week, because now we have seen what China is, then that's the road infrastructure.
The roads.
Yeah. So the population is high. So
1.4 billion.
1.5 billion actually.
1.5.
Yeah. So we were in just like a municipal. Municipal compared to Uganda is more like a district. It'd be like a region kind of.
Western region.
It's like some western region of China. It's called Chongqing. So it has a population close to Ugandan population, 32 million people, just in a municipal alone. So looking at the road, you'll not even see a jam, not because people are not there, but how they have thought through. You see, when you look through China, you'll see people's brains at work. They don't just do things by, I don't want to use the word accident, but you see here sometimes we do things just because you are told to do them.
Or because someone is doing them.
In China, everything is planned for the next 100 or 500 years. So you can see, even the industry we visited, they already had facilities built for the future. You can imagine a facility which is there empty, nothing is happening in it, but they say it is for the future, in case they want to do. So that tells you the power of planning, being intentional. So back to my story of when in the 1 week, as we were just moving through the roads were like a storage house.
You took 1 week moving through the road just?
No, that time we were just moving. After we spent 1 week in China, we just, I think we were from a college, we were going back to where we were staying. So we looked at the road network. Oh, like, party people, are we even human beings? Because when you are there, you look at things that actually you can do, but you're not doing them. You think we don't have engineers who can construct those roads, who can think through.
We have them.
Engineer Victor.
So what is our problem? You start to imagine, you be like, but are we even human beings? So that statement has been for the whole training. People have just been, when something new comes, like, Angupale was right. I think we're not human beings. But we are human beings. So the difference is just leadership.
Leadership.
Leadership is very powerful socio-economic transformation of any society. Because if you look at China's resources and what we have, maybe 10 times even richer than China in terms of the resources we have. But what China has done with the little resources that they have is 100 times more than what we have done. So even the place we were staying, they say it's the village, but it's important. It's better than Kampala city. So,
Their village is better than our capital.
this in China was good, but also depressing at the same time. Because when you try to come, yes, at the same time.
Depressing.
And what depresses me most was knowing that actually we can do it. But
Here in Uganda.
Yes, but we can't do it. When I was in the pharmaceutical industry, there is nothing new that I saw that I did not know about. But they have put everything in use. It is something maybe for me, it's the thing that you have heard about, maybe you have taught in class, maybe you have never done them practically, but they have done everything. Actually, in the manufacturing process, the automation is from the warehouse where raw materials come up to the warehouse when the finished products are being transported to the warehouse of storage.
The whole process is automated.
The whole process is automated. So the workforce is, the human labor is low. But now, one thing that struck me was, I visited the R&D lab. The R&D lab is more like, it's bigger than your first building. Just R&D for the industry alone, bigger than that. And it had over...
Research and development?
Yes.
So guys, the first building is like this car place.
This is just more than it. I didn't say exactly like it, but it's more than it. So they have over 400 scientists working from masters and PhDs above. So I realized that manpower in China is now utilizing in innovation and research. But when it comes to manufacturing, it's now machine work. They don't waste energy of anyone there. So most of their employees are focusing on R&D. That's why now China is competitive globally. Actually, okay. I hope that one is going to go down. It's okay. Yes, so China is now a global competitor in the pharmaceutical industries. That was our focus mainly. But I think also in other areas it's also doing well. So you will see that one thing that I also saw that made China now becoming the way it is, the cost of manufacturing in China has been made low.
Cost of what?
Cost of manufacturing. So even now innovations in US and Europe are being produced in China.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they have developed a system that makes their finished products cheap compared to any other person in the world. So those of us who are in the pharmaceutical industries, you know, here in Uganda we're just our industries are assembling units. They're not doing much in R&D. It's just of recent that they're beginning to pick up in some formulation areas, but it has mainly been assembling of different raw materials that they import. So you may find sometimes even what is assembled here may be more expensive than what is imported. Because you may find your power and your resources that you're using may be more expensive than what is in China.
So I just want to ask, I'm not going to ask very many questions. I'm also depressed.
Please don't be depressed.
Like you said. Because for a young founder, I know of my colleagues who are always spending time in the lab, trying to do the work. What is the chance and what can be done? You combine the two to ensure that they reach that level, and I don't know if it's possible, but if to be able to reach that level to compete globally. Because at the end of the day, one of the issues we have here in Uganda, and I will say it here, It's because I don't know if we are just trained or we are conditioned to think here. Okay? I've seen most people, when they tell them to speak about their market, even in competitions like CITT, the only market they are thinking about, they have no idea that they will even ever penetrate outside Uganda. Okay? It has never occurred to them. So my question is, what do people here need to do? And are there systems? You talked about leadership. What is wrong with the Ugandan ecosystem? But let's just focus on that, and then I'll go to Emma.
Okay, yeah, thank you. First of all, it's our education system.
The education system?
Yeah, education system has a lot of contribution to where we are. You get? So, our universities for very many years have been delinked from the industry. So the industry has been doing its own things,
and universities
doing its own things, and then government doing its own things. You get? That's a very big challenge to socio-economic transformation, because what is the purpose of training you anyways if the industry is not participating in your training?
Yeah.
Because it's first, sometimes most of you have been in the industries. When you go there,
they have to train you again.
They have to train you again, and they don't allow you to touch. They don't allow you to. So, where I was in the university, they call it GMP simulation production facility.
Okay.
Which is bigger than some of the industries we have. So this is inside the university.
In the university?
Yes.
They have a production facility?
They have a production facility for all the production lines. So
They
you
like
will be
Conveyor
able,
truck?
you will be able to. Conveyor truck is still going that direction, but not this there.
Okay.
Actually, we're just we're improvising. Where we are, we're improvising.
Okay.
That facility was not even built for this purpose. So a GMP facility that is built like an industry inside the university. So that changes your mindset as a student of what you can actually be able to do. You get? So once the education system, so I've told you one thing is the education system. Now I've explained why that is, right?
Yes.
Now the second thing is the leadership. I want to repeat that.
The leadership,
because
does that come from the national leadership?
You see, what I saw in China is that you don't just wake up in China and do all the things.
Like in Uganda.
Yes. Even as a student, you can't just start doing your own projects. Now you can see, if you go to those of you who are in our departments, you know there's a pile of books for different research projects which are scattered, which you cannot consolidate together. But there you are contributing to the next thing. So you cannot start something.
There's a plan.
Yeah, you can't start something. That's why I was telling you in China, they plan for the next 100 years.
They build for generations.
Yeah. So meaning the leadership is, the China believe that they have a belief that fish begins to rot from the head, right? Fish rots from the head, begins to rot from the head. That means if the leadership, the head of anything is making wrong priorities, you're not going to expect the right results.
But let me stop
so
you there.
Before you stop me,
Okay.
at some point I wanted to drive.
Okay, first drive.
So you realize that the government comes up with let's say a strategy for the next, let's say for the next 30 years, what universities should focus on, what every sector is going to focus on. So whatever you are doing must fit into that. So that means whatever a student is going to innovate is already in the plan.
Okay.
So you will fail to get maybe market, you fail to get partners to take that innovation up, to be able to upscale it up, something like that. So those are the two areas that I wanted you to understand: leadership and
the education
system. Those things are very key, because once the focus is clear, because now you see government is going to be planning about the global competition, so it fits that into every activity that everybody is doing, whether it is the industry, whether it is the university, or whoever has a contribution to do towards that. So everybody is focusing on the goal.
Wow. Now, finally, I never wanted to ask, but I'm going to ask. I 100% believe that our governments know these things. They know what is needed. They know where the world is going. They know the issues that have been here for generations, right? The biggest question is why, because you talked about priorities, why are the priorities of our countries the priorities that we are focusing on? I don't know if the question is clear. Because I understand that we may not focus on what China is focusing on because we have issues, internal issues that we need to solve first. But then how can we be able to maybe skip that gap? And also, finally, the other question, that's my last question today. You have talked about the ecosystem, you have talked about the government, the universities, but one important part are the innovators, the people looking at you here. What can they do? Because if the system is bad, how do I outplay it? Do I have to leave the country? I know of colleagues who have left Uganda because they realize that there is no hope here. And yes, they are winning where they are. So is that the only route? Some of us want to stay here. We don't want to go anywhere. Are we barring ourselves with our innovations? Do you think I can ever have a company that leads in its market? Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible that you can have a company that can become a global superpower. I think that means if the government is not setting the goal for you, you have to now set your own goal. Yeah. But I do not want to say that the government does not have goals. Some of us who have received funding from science, technology, innovations.
You're biased.
No, I want to give you an example. That can be one of the ways that you can also move to the next level. So one of the limitations for our innovations to not move far is funding. You don't have enough capital to do certain things. You find you have the right market, with the right product, but you don't have the capacity to do what? So how can I get the funding? That's one of the things that we actually did from my experience. So what we did was to understand how STI operates. The science technology. I hope everyone here knows about science technology innovations.
The one by Dr. Msendero, Monica?
Yes. Minister of Science, Technology and Innovations. All of you are aware about it?
Some don't know.
Some don't know. But if you are Uganda, you must know.
You should know.
You should know.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
So this ministry actually has a very good strategy to uplift Uganda to the next level. Because now you're talking about moving the country from the current, I think now we're in 60 USD GDP, 550 USD, 550 billion GDP by 2040, right? A tenfold growth. Now, the main driver of that is science, technology, and what? Innovations. So once you know their agenda, what they're focusing on. Actually, now one thing is to know that any money, any project that is in any other ministry that has a component of science, technology, innovations must receive a concurrence letter which must be approved by the Minister of Science, Technology, Innovations because of that strategy that the government is coming up with.
Okay.
So we spent like I think 1 month trying to understand the strategy, how they want innovators to be thinking. So now one of the things that they're doing is they want you to look at countries like China. Which one is the best country in your area of innovation? If you are focusing on AI, focusing on whatever area is, which country is the best? So when you're doing that, we call that benchmarking, but when you're doing that benchmarking, you cannot now start looking at China of today. You get?
Yeah.
Because you want to understand how China has reached where it is. That means you have started reading about China in 1900s, where it was. Because if you compare China and us, we are around we're like 100 years below, apart. Yeah.
That is more depression.
Something of that sort. So you have to understand what were the key enablers. How did China make it?
Yes.
But if you also go backwards, you'll find that there's some countries like Singapore who are actually at the same level as Uganda. So what were their key drivers? How did they make it? So we spent time trying to understand that from. So we realized that actually the farm bio truck that we have as a must, these were things that China did in 1940s, 1950s.
And we are doing them now.
We're doing them now.
It's okay.
So you have to. So when they say leapfrogging, that means you want to understand what China did and what can we do faster, maybe to catch up with China or to be somewhere in the next 15 years. So that's the approach that the STI is using.
Okay.
So you have to align your innovation to who actually has the money or who can be a key partner in innovation for you to be able to move far.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Dr. Jimmy. That has been well elaborate, and much as you started by telling us that there is no hope. Looks like okay, Victor said it, but in my own understanding, looks like the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovations is trying to bring some hope, because I'm not a biblical guy, but I know that there is hope for a tree that has been cut, that it shall sprout again, and blah blah blah.
It's in the Bible.
Yeah, so there's always a leap of hope. And I should say...
But before you ask, can I interject something there slowly? Yes. So, you see, one of the things that he has just talked about, the hope.
Now, one
thing that maybe you need to know is that the problem also we have is when a ministry is changed, the agenda changes. I don't know if you have seen that.
Yeah, that's
you find
every minister goes.
Every minister that comes
with its dynamics.
Once come with a new vision, come with a new strategy. That does not happen in China. If the vision is set for the next 100 years,
that is it.
Does not matter who is in charge.
Whoever comes progresses it.
Whoever comes must start from where the other one stopped. So that strategy now you'll find right now we have a very good one, but the next government, I hope things will not change.
No, does that
necessitate? Even if they change, we stick to the what? To the plan.
Does that necessitate, anyway, I was going to kind of say, necessitate keeping the same ministry.
It's not about keeping the same person, but...
yeah, I get the point. So, yeah, in my opinion, I think there is hope, at least for the STI, now that there are some grants that it's actually putting forward. And to my knowledge, I understand you're one of a few people that have actually been able to garner such a grant, a prestigious grant. And I'd like to believe that just like us, young entrepreneurs, innovators, and business startups, you must have had a couple of rejections. Yeah, moving on. But now, many a time for us, when we get a rejection, it really pulls you down and demotivates you. But now, what has really given you that motivation to turn a 0 into a 1 and be able to make a U-turn so that you can restructure and be able to amplify and aim higher so that you were able to actually glean that prestigious STI grant? Because one of the biggest challenges of young entrepreneurs and startups is funding.
Yeah.
Or it may not actually be funding, but it's what we believe it is. Yeah, much as there are other seemingly petty challenges that we actually need to work on, not just funding. So how do you go about that to turn the situation and be able to keep moving until you actually land a bigger grant, just like this prestigious STI grant you just won? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. You see, it's all about the vision, the goal. You have to believe in what you want to do with yourself, with your innovation or your startup. Because your startup, you must believe that it is going to be there, whether you get the grant or you don't get the grant. Because one of the key drivers of an innovator or an entrepreneur is the goal. Because you want to make life better somehow. But how do you make it better does not stop when you have done what? You have faced a challenge, like maybe you have not gotten a grant or something like that. Me personally, do you know how many times I've applied to STI before I got that one? Like I think 5 times. So we're like, but what is the problem? How come we have the best idea in our understanding? And of course we had the best ideas. Because the challenge was, our challenge was how we were writing the grants. So when we had to spend time to understand their strategy, their thinking, because one of the things is you need to know
what the funder
wants and their philosophy. How are they thinking? If you don't understand what the funder wants, then you'll not be able to convince the funder that your idea is the best for them to do what? To fund. So now still we had a good idea, but what was missing was we did not communicate at all how our product is going to contribute to the GDP of Uganda.
Okay.
So STI wants you to be able to relate everything that you are doing, because now you see the goal is to move Uganda's GDP from a 10-fold growth, right?
Yes.
So anything you do, there must be a statement or there must be some kind of projections of how
it aligns.
It aligns
with that.
That's the definition of alignment.
Okay.
Don't state those things like these projects aligned with the SDGs, ABCD, but they want you to explain in terms of words, figures, how it aligns to the growth of Uganda in terms of GDP.
The impact.
Yes, the impact.
So they want you to unpack everything.
You have to be able to. No, we have to understand some models, how they calculate it. Like if you are going to maybe, let's say, you're going to train PhDs, or let's say we're developing an malaria product right now. So how does it malaria product, how will it contribute to GDP? What percentage also will it contribute to the growth of the GDP or in the malaria market? So you look at the global malaria market. What is the prevalence of malaria? What are the projections?
The global malaria
market.
You have to think
Where
globally.
is it going to be in the next 20 years or 30 years? When we talk about mentorship has a component of personality, has a concept of the culture. There are a lot of things involved there. So I know right now, you see how our country is at the moment.
Okay.
You may find there are a lot of people who are focusing on wrong things. Why am I saying that? Is that people are craving to accumulate unnecessary wealth.
Unnecessary wealth.
Yeah. But let me tell you, in China, there's no need to be rich.
I didn't know that there's unnecessary wealth.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
You'll have things that you don't need as a human being. You build a very big house and you're not going to use all the rooms. So where should the focus be?
Why do you need 15?
Priority.
Yeah, what should the priority be? If you know that actually in the next you know that in the next 20 years, actually I'm not going to be there as an old person. That means how best can I use my resources to nurture young people? So that should be the mindset. You get it? That's I'm telling you the ideal of how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
But now in our environment where you are saying that there are people who may not have genuine interest in supporting you, sometimes they also come to steal your innovation. Because now one of the challenges that now you have as a startup is a challenge of
they steal our innovations.
You've never seen a situation where someone's innovation is taken away without the knowledge. These ones have happened several times. Your ideas can disappear. There are times where so this happens, not so.
Yes.
So what our challenge normally is who do I talk to? It's normally a very big challenge. Who do I talk to? What can I tell him? What can I not tell him? Because if I meet somebody and you vomit everything, now you become tomorrow useless.
You must have a secret.
There must be something that makes you important
and unique.
Now I'll give you an example of a formula that we are developing
for it's a wound spray. It was a project between Germany, university, Farm Biotech, MUST, and local communities in Lugazi. Lugazi local communities.
Lugazi Mbarara or Lugazi?
Lugazi in Mukono.
Lugazi.
You come from that side.
Yeah. And you're not part of the project.
You should put me on the project.
You're sleeping.
I understand the place.
Give us a reason to be part of the project.
Okay, so I didn't know about that project actually. I came in because they needed someone who can be able to develop the product, to be able to get NDA notification, a place to produce this product, something of that sort. So that's how I was co-opted in the product in the project.
Okay.
But then what happened was the formulation, because I realized later on there was an interest by certain groups to take away the formula. So I'm the only one who knows the formula.
You?
Yeah.
This is more of like intellectual property.
So meaning if in my reports to them I reveal the formula, then the innovation is gone.
Sure.
So why will they come to me? So because I've not revealed the formula, I'm still very important.
You have something.
Hey. You have to have a secret.
So even if the Lugazi people, because they are the ones who own the product, if they want to produce,
and they even have the raw materials.
They have the raw materials. So they have supplied the raw materials to me. I produce, send them the finished products for them to market and distribute. So I still remain relevant.
Okay, so let me cut you at that for a minute. You've talked about the Lugazi people having the raw material that you actually need for the product, but you're the innovator. They need you in that way because you know how to mix the formula. You know the trick behind the formula. So it reminds me of, China owns about 30% of the pharmaceutical market, worldwide. So China used to make APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients, more of like the raw materials.
The leading,
oh yeah, it's still leading, but it used to make them and then sell them to the US, so they can also constitute and make the drugs. But now of late, turns out that China makes the APIs and actually formulates the products, similar products that the US was actually making, and then puts it out there to the market. And I think that's how it has attained that proportion of the market worldwide, So meaning it is a big giant in the market. It decides the market's
it has a voice
projection, So what do you think? Do you think Uganda could kind of borrow that kind of
strategy,
modus operandi to kind of, because we have a lot of raw materials here, and we have the capacity, like you said, that we are having more than 10 times what China has, but again, in terms of production, they are 100 years ahead of us. So could we turn that around? Is there a possibility of making that happen here?
I wish I was speaking to the president.
He's watching.
He's watching.
In his ears, because you see, some of these things are, I don't want to say political, but the policies are very critical in reversing some of our situations at the moment. Now, talking about the model that China used in those days, even still now, to get their current space or their current market share in the global pharmaceutical industry. Actually, in one of the trainings that we had, we realized that now there is now a shift. The shift now happening in the pharmaceutical sector. So now what's happening is that the one who controls manufacturing of the API controls the price of the product.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
That's sure.
So people who are making APIs now they want to now take it up to the end
products.
Yes.
To dispensing.
From API, because now if I'm done manufacturing the API, it's just having someone make the formulation and have the finished product in the market.
So they control the whole value chain.
So you have to go from downstream to upstream. That's now for you to have low cost of production.
Okay.
Now even the US companies now, those who were doing finished products are also now moving from up to
So they are trying to
downstream.
reciprocate.
Yeah, they also want to make their own APIs. So that is the dynamics that is now taking shape in the global pharmaceutical market. So that means as a country, if you're not manufacturing APIs, you cannot compete in the global market.
Okay.
So Uganda, if it is to compete in the pharmaceutical sector, it has to invest in manufacturing of APIs. And this is not something that is this is not something that we cannot do. We have scientists. Now, one of the things, even before I move into that, is that, here we fight so much. I don't know if it's because we are still poor, because you find a pharmacist is fighting for job for pharmacist, medical scientist fighting for jobs for medical scientist, medical doctor is fighting that pharmacists not enter here.
So it's more of like ring fencing.
Yeah, so
profession ring fencing.
So that kind of thing limits your capacity to move as a team. Because in China, you cannot hear anyone despising anybody. Yeah. Actually, they value teamwork. They call it the talent group.
Talent group.
The talent group. So they have to harvest the finest brains. Actually, the industry we're in, they tell us they recruit from the best universities in China. And that once you have the best brains in your industry, or doing the thing.
So the universities, they are like think tanks.
Yeah, they are think tanks. So universities produce the best graduates. Those graduates have high chance of going to the best industries. That's what industries need. If you go in the R&D lab where we visited, people don't even see you. You will see they are thinking. Because that is where you create the AI that is working.
Okay.
That's why you automate the system. That's why you're coming up with a new drug. That's why you're going to modify formulations. That's how you're going to come up with new technology. So all they need is the resources. For them, they're not bothered about the resources because someone is taking care of that.
Okay.
So your role is to think. To think
outside the box.
Yes.
Okay. So now that you've said, I'd like, as I conclude, I think this question could be critical. So you've said that systems out there in China, case in scenario, are largely automated.
Yeah.
From the warehousing, where there is a reception of the raw materials and APIs, to the final product and dispensing. So would you think for a situation like the one we have in Uganda, where we have an escalated kind of unemployment landscape, would you think reciprocating that kind of system wouldn't escalate that already existing unemployment status? Because we know that that would require laying off more of the human workforce when everything is automated. Remember, we're already having that already poor unemployment status.
You see, it can't. You know why? It depends on what you do with the human beings now. If the machines, if the machines are now doing, actually human beings are now relieved. You don't have to now carry the luggage in your bag and be able to operate the machine, be able to do what. Your energy is now reserved to here.
Okay.
You get? So that's why I'm saying universities, government, and industries have to work together.
Okay.
That means if the industries are going to automate, that means if medical scientists are not going to be, they're not going to operate any machine, they're not going to, control any system because it's automated. So what is going to be your role now? You're going to be innovating.
Yeah.
And the machine is not going to innovate without your brain.
Yeah.
So the role of the human being in the industry have to be now reversed. It has to be reprioritized, and it actually makes you more innovative. Because that's, imagine now in my lab there, I have to be the one doing this, I have to be the one, I have to do that, all with my hands. I don't have time to think.
Manually.
Yes, I don't have time to think. But if that is taken away, now this machine can be able to do it. That means I can be more productive.
Yeah.
Than I was.
Thank you so much. Maybe to add on that, you see, when the horses were still the transport masters, when cars came, the horse riders lost jobs, and the people used to rear horses, but drivers got jobs, mechanics got jobs. So when something goes and another thing comes, then something
after
new always
think.
comes up. So I want to open for the questions, comments, additions, but we are going to take at least 4. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4.
There any other?
Okay, Mutongisa last. Okay. Yeah, start with you.
All right. Thank you for the conversation. It's quite, insightful. You've talked about a problem. When you bring in the universities, the industries, and the government, and it's really a huge issue. When you look at China and even the US, you will have the government funding universities to carry out research, to produce things. You will have the government funding companies, like tech companies, to build for them products and do research. What do you think is the reason that is not happening in Uganda? Because you look at MUST, the University of Science and Technology. What is stopping the government of saying, MUST, you as the University of Science and Technology, we give you the task, the funds to build for us a local AI. We are giving you the funds and the task to build this. Look at Chambogo, one of the universities prized for engineering, right? Why not say, Chambogo University, we are giving you the contract to, build, let's say, local government roads. Because then students get the experience. Students become the people building these small bridges and roads. Why is that not happening? Where do you think in all this circle, where is the gap in that? Who do you think is not making it happen?
One of the things that I was thinking about when I came from China is like, can I become the president?
Yes, immediately.
So
we still have a man.
So I was like, it's very difficult. Because you see, I was asking exactly the question you're asking.
Yeah.
Actually, today when we were walking with Alex, when we were walking, you see, they're renovating the road there. So I was telling him that, you see, these roads now are being renovated by the university. So it's just a change of a human resource with a different mindset, who's now changing these things. So I was like, this is where students are supposed to be. We have the whole faculty of engineering.
We are there, and they are very brilliant people.
Now, one time when there were the chairs that are supposed to be in that new,
I was one of them.
People were bidding. They wanted to be the ones to make the chairs. Okay. So this means that
I was one of the people who were ready to work on the project of making chairs for the university. I don't fear saying this.
So it is not happening because of policies.
It's impressive.
So the policies are not actually working for us. They're working for somebody else. Because you may find there are people who may be controlling procurement, who are controlling a lot of things. So unless we deal with this kind of things as government, then we cannot be able to see different things. Because you cannot be thinking of moving to $550 billion US by 2040, but the very basic thing that we needed to do and not doing them. So we'll never achieve our goals if we keep doing these kind of things. Because I was giving him an example in this the technical college of Namtanga. The buildings there are built by students.
Wow.
Yeah. Because now university they have the best experts. You have the brains. It is where innovations come from. Why can't you build your own structures?
Why don't we make
What are your engineers going to be doing if you can't build your own houses? If you can't construct your own roads?
Or even make our own chairs.
So these are policy issues that we need to work out as a country if we are to move to where we want to go. Because if the university is not working for the industry, it's not working for the government, it's not working for the people, what's the role of the university?
Thank you. Next person.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Jimmy. So my question, you talked about the innovator should have the goal. Yeah, I want to believe that especially the innovators in the pharmaceutical sector, and you're one of them. Emma is one of them. I can see Elwood. Yeah, Emmanuel. So with the innovators, I know you know my innovation. from
This
Mills.
is did not talk about.
Yeah, I
Now you have
forgot.
shifted.
You know, no, I'm interested. Please, I'm interested in my innovation. Okay.
It's about to fly the country.
I saw 10 chicken.
So, guys, my innovation, I also founded Mills Organics.
Okay.
It's an innovation that I am still taking on. I've not dropped it. It's just a little shifting, really. Yeah, we basically deal in value addition of avocado, where we get oil for hair and skin. So back to the question, Mr. Jimmy. I think we have interacted, and one of the things that we noticed as innovators, as we try to innovate, and we actually innovate, at the end of the day, we have issues to do with marketing. Yes, so I want to speak on an issue that I have realized with these innovators. So I pioneered to bring these people together. But I don't know if we are having a problem with mindset or something. Like you're bringing innovators together to come up with a solution so that we can move together and actually, I don't know, benefits. But you're struggling to call Emma, you're struggling to call Elwood, to even fill a single form so that you guys can move forward. I don't know, apart from us thinking about the government and the nation, us as innovators, what do you think is really the problem? Like literally we are trying to come up together to do something, but even with that small group, you're finding a lot of challenges to actually push these people to go to the next level. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Emily, for raising that. I think that idea we talked about it when we were in the other exhibition in Munono. We talked about the issue of marketing, the issue of distribution, how can we be able to, because right now we have very many pharmaceutical scientists who have innovated a range of products, from natural products to
products.
Yeah, so, but pushing them in the market in a fragmented way, we thought it is going to be a bit hard. So my suggestion was, why can't we form a company that focuses only on marketing and distribution of pharmaceutical products? That it will be able to build strength, and its work will just be to take these innovations to market and distribute. But then I think that now when you had that engagement with the other people, I was not around and I didn't attend that meeting, but you came up with the idea of forming another association for innovators, right? Right? Yes. So that will not work. And I knew it was not going to work. And I told the Baker, I met him in the office last time. I told him it's not going to work because we've already struggled with the associations. So you need a company that is actively going to take this as its business, not like any other association. You get?
Move like
yeah, something of that sort. It is your business. You have the products. You'll be the first one to introduce in the market. That means these guys will have more time innovating new products. Even when there's a need in the market, you can tell them that I need a product for this. They can get for you. So that idea of shifting to make a new association is not going to work. So you need to rethink the ideology or the philosophy of how to move. But one thing that you must never do is to give up. Please. Entrepreneurs never give up. I think the people have taught entrepreneurs, have told them that.
This year has gone in eggs. That's not giving up.
The diversification is part of it.
Yes, okay.
Diversification is part of it, so. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Jimmy. I'm having two questions, and my very first question is, my name is Pasi. My first question is, how can you innovators and startups handle copyright laws and plagiarism in the early stages, and how do I deal with partners? For example, if at all, let's say I'm dealing with him with a software.
What?
I'll repeat my question. How can you innovators and startups handle copyright laws and plagiarism in the early stages, and how to deal with partners in case we happen to fall out? Then my next question would be, if at all for someone like me who is dealing into a software to deal in the education system, if I want to sell it out to my final consumers, do I first need to pass through the Ministry of Education and ICT, or do I just reach out into my target market? Thank you.
Okay, let me respond to that. IP for innovators is a nightmare. IP for innovators is a nightmare. I've been on that road, and I'm still on it. We have had issues of IP before. I'm sure all of you know what happened in COVIDX. How there was fight with the professor, with the company, and the master, and all that stuff. So IP is not something that is small for an innovator. Now, how can you said you asked how can you deal with it or get it registered? So one thing is you need to know the kind of IP you have. Does it need to be patented? Does it need to be registered? Or do I keep it to myself? And you need to have also a very good understanding of what IP is. Different policies we have, what is a patent, and where can I register it, and if I register it, how long does it expire? And once it is expired, what do I do? You get? So you need to understand the nitty-gritties of IP, and as an innovator, it must be one of the things that you must be well.
There is no excuse.
You must know it.
Actually, guys, next week we are having Marvin from the Uganda National Council of Science and Technology. He's well versed with IP and things to do of that sort, but also the innovation world.
And they even have some.
Yeah.
They even have some.
I'm sure that question will be answered better.
They even have some grants.
So I'm sure at that time you'll be available next week for more information about the IP. So you must understand it and know how to register it. And once, like now in pharmaceutical industries, for example, for us, once an API is patented, we don't patent everything about the API. You may find, I know that maybe if I add the hydroxyl group here, to change to a different API in the future. So you don't reveal it. So by the time this one is expiring, you introduce a new patent. So the issue of product life cycle management, the patent, how do I manage it? So it's a topic that is very broad, but as an innovator, you must know how to manage the product life cycle of your innovation. Actually, think about it in the beginning, not at the end. Yes. Then about your software marketing, it depends on your target market. If it's private schools, then you may just go to them directly, in my understanding. But if it's the government school that you're targeting, then it's easier for it to come through as a directive from the ministry. Yeah. So you have to know how to, yeah.
Then she talked about managing partnerships and teams.
Partnerships. When you fall out.
Love that.
That's why you need to have. Now, one thing that you need to know is in partnerships. Don't just get into partnership with anybody. You must have the same vision.
Few people have spoken about that here.
You must have the same vision with your partner.
The problem is that we are desperate for money, so
sure, sometimes people.
It's coming from where.
I just had a few. One of my colleagues that actually they were my classmates. They did pharmacy. We are good friends, but they had a company that they were doing together. Right now, the other key guy who was in marketing has gone away because they could not. They had issues here. So the issue of having the same vision, the same interests, is very important for sustainability of any partnership. Somebody's intention may not be necessarily the goal. You get? Sometimes we forget the goal, we think about money. So when an entrepreneur who thinks about money is a failed entrepreneur. Money comes as an added kind of benefit or profit that you get, but the main goal is that problem you have solved in the communities. That is the goal of an entrepreneur. So if all of you are in a partnership, you're thinking about that goal, that means you're not going to have. There are going to be some challenges that you will get.
Most people,
but you will move past that.
Their goal, and the problem they want to solve is poverty.
How can we match problem solving with making money out of the solution, which is very, very important.
Very good mindset among ourselves. Because if we don't say your purpose of being an entrepreneur as a solver of a problem, and then you start looking at it as a money-making venture, then we're missing the point. Like you said, money comes as a reward. It's not the main goal. How much money will you need as you to take care of yourself?
Exactly.
You get? Now, by the time your mind shifts to now solving problems, the money will follow you. Why you're able to make money with any innovation is because that innovation has solved the problem. People are willing to pay for it because it is helping them. You get? If you fail to make money out of your innovation, that means there's some problem somewhere. You get? So this is a discussion that we'll not be able to conclude from here.
Yeah.
That's one thing you should know. But one thing that I need you to take is that entrepreneurs should first solve a problem. Whether it is a marketing problem, whether it is a problem of improving existing product, whether it's a problem of the marketing, the distribution network, innovation is wide. It could be something small that you change. That does what? That makes a difference in your innovation. And partnerships sometimes also, like you talked about what Steve Jobs was doing and the new person is doing. So you find sometimes we innovate a very good product, but we don't know how to market it. There is somebody actually who sees the value in your innovation one hand.
Yeah.
So there's a lot around entrepreneurship that we're not able to resolve. Yeah, teams are very important in that.
Is there a way you can, like, you have your idea, you have your product, go past this hunt for money through grants and stuff like that, and just start up your thing, commercialize it, and it funds itself. You don't need external money to make it big.
Yeah, that is those are two good questions there. Let me start with the first one. PhD, innovator. What do you now, like, if you listen carefully when I was giving an example of what the scientists are doing in R&D. What the scientists are doing in R&D. Without a high level of knowledge, we're not going to have high level of innovations.
Say that again.
I don't know if I can repeat exactly the same thing.
You have a high level of knowledge. You
Uh-huh.
don't have a high level of innovation.
People picked it up very well.
That is the philosophy.
So you will see that now we're talking about knowledge economy. Knowledge economy. That means the ones with the brains, the ones with the highest level of, actually sometimes they rank what we call the innovation index of a country. How you relate it to the PhDs that they have. Now it's not just a PhD for just PhD. Now the problem we have here is that people sometimes get PhDs just to get promotions. They don't even understand the PhD that they have got. You get? So a PhD is a highest level of thinking where you're going to come up with a solution to address a problem. You get? So if your PhD has not really come up with a solution to something, it's just the paper PhD but not the real PhD. You get? So right now, that's why when we were doing benchmarking for Farm Trucks ACA, one of the things was the minister asked was, how are these PhDs going to contribute to the economy? Looking at what our PhDs are doing, what kind of PhDs are you going to have? So we looked at the US, looked at China, looked at South Korea, Singapore, looked at their correlation between the innovation index and the higher level of education system in their country. So we found that there was a high correlation, and then we looked at how much does one PhD actually contribute to the economy.
That's a big
Now, if it's me, how much I contribute to the Ugandan economy, it's very hard to quantify.
Very hard.
Because if I'm here talking to you, the knowledge I'm saying, I don't know what you're going to do with it next. Now, I do a lot of consultants in the industries, so I don't know how many of those ideas go in the market. I innovate my own products. I train students. So having a number of PhDs, like good quality PhDs, is very, very key for socio-economic transformation of what? The country.
Those that have intervention.
Yes.
Evidence-based.
That's why the education system that you have, if it does not work for your country, then it is better not to be there.
Thank you very much.
Then the other question was on there's another question which was about
self-sustainment without.
yes, I think I talked about that. I gave an example of how you can actually come up with have an idea and it moves to its different ways. I talked about how you can work with incubators, contract manufacturers. That's just one side of it. But you see, when the innovation solves a problem, it will find its market. It will market itself. It is easier for you to make money out of it, get that reward, and be able to scale up your production by itself without getting what? External, not looking for a grant necessarily. You get? So it depends on your resilience as the innovator and the market. There is problem that you're solving that will decide whether it can actually work itself up without any other external funding. But you have to be responsive to the market and to see the ecosystem. If that is very difficult for it to work, then you may need network of people, partners that you may have to work with to make things move faster. So because entrepreneurship actually is not a one-way thing. I don't know if you have talked about that. Sometimes books may not be able to tell you everything about entrepreneurship. You may have to innovate your way around and come up with your own systems.
But because of time, I may maybe make some phrases instead. But I also think I do agree with a lot of things that have been said. I think the conversation has been fruitful, for sure. But maybe also for the benefit of ourselves, is that sometimes there's some reality which is very shocking, especially when you come from this part of the continent.
Which one? LMI?
Sub-Saharan Africa.
Sub-Saharan.
Global South.
Yes, yeah.
What is it? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
because just like how you did indicate, there are these nice estimates, for instance, of contribution to the GDP to about maybe 500, billion US dollars. That's Pam Senero and the team. And yet the entire East African community currently stands at around 356 billion.
Elon Musk has more money than East Africa.
Yes, in short. And definitely, also some of these things and some of this innovation, I think it's a fact for sure that sometimes you cannot grow beyond your market. For instance, it's very difficult if the entire region had a GDP of 60 billion US dollars. How then will you have a company within that region that has exactly, you understand? Yeah. So that means, of course, then you either have got to sell beyond that locality. That means that you have to serve the entire population of that
alone.
Yeah, alone, and then exceed it. Yes, and go to other regions and all that. So I think that also speaks into why then it becomes important, like how you are noting, to build innovations or to think about companies that don't serve just your locality. Because if you just focus on serving Uganda, where our GDP is like maybe 56 billion, 64 billion now. Yeah, so that means you will never by any chance go to even a quarter of Musk because you just cannot. So I think, there's a big opportunity. And again, as someone who cares about the East African community, this is very important for us to then also maybe focus on other markets and beyond just the East African community. Also go to the entire African continent, because now we have a good framework, the African Continental Free Trade Area, which I think is very key. But then also I think the other questions.
Implementation, because I've heard about that.
After. Yes.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Because I saw the thing is good on paper, just like things in Apple. I don't know if it's working.
But how can it be translated?
Yes, actually.
Real world practice.
The other part is transfer. There's free trade and free transfer.
Yes.
So the free transfer is still a free trade is happening in pockets. East Africa.
Region, because we want a free movement of goods throughout, and people.
Yes, and also, of course, we're not there fully, but somehow we are. And also there's some challenges, For instance, one of the good intentions of AFTA is that if a product came from Rwanda, really from Rwanda and to Uganda, there should be some taxes that you shouldn't have to pay because it is made from Africa. Now, however, there are, of course, these instances where someone who is locally African, as a company in Rwanda, will get something from China. And now he wants to transfer that thing from China to Uganda under the auspices of it being Rwandan. You know? So there are all these dynamics, yes, where you need to obtain like a certificate of origin and all these things so that they confirm that actually the raw material of that is actually African. And then the debate, of course, expounds. If that is the case, and then we go to where the raw materials of iPhones are actually African, so does that mean the iPhones qualify to be African? So yeah, so there's a very big debate. Yeah, it's yeah, it's a whole debate of other thing. Maybe I think the other issue, lastly, of course, as I conclude, was on. I think this conversation was really broad. It showed to us why I think political economy is a real concept. You can't distinguish the two. Because it says we have the good economic policies, entrepreneurial spirit, innovation. Yeah.
For every program, yeah?
Yeah.
It's economy.
Yes.
Now we are trying to appreciate its difficulties much as back in the day. We didn't
need to go for it,
eh?
Yes. And I'm happy that regardless of his background, I think PhD, academia, he kept on mentioning leadership. I think it's really factual. Because I also have experienced, how did you call it? The depression. Yeah. I think at a time when I stayed in Denmark for some months and it was really depressing. Being at how the system does operate. And I remember that time when I turned to Uganda, it felt like I was going to change a lot. The moment I reached 10 table like this, yeah, back in our jam and in our border people, I think just lasted like 1 week, and I was reminded of the reality. So
the time I left the airport, and when I reached Lugazi, because I went direct to Lugazi, the first place I went to even before I reached home. Commando.
Yes. Yes, but I think personally, I think this mindset shift is really possible. Because you see, like in Denmark, one thing for sure is it's very interesting how if you are rich with like this flashy lifestyle, cars, actually people despise that by culture. It's despised, yes. You'd be fully despised, you look like a nuisance, you look uneducated, you look a villager. Yeah, like you look everything messy, which is quite the opposite.
That can't work in Uganda.
So you find a rich person who is really rich. The only way you know that they are rich is from their kitchen. So in Denmark, you will know that someone is rich depending on the kitchen. So they focus so much on the kitchen. So the kind of the kitchen where you have the cabinet because of the culture. But in terms of these things, cars, you'd look like a mad person. You'd be despised. In terms of clothes, they have that mindset of, I think like how someone was asking, why do you need 2 shirts? There are actually people who believe like that, and there are very many in Denmark. So you can see their mindset, shift. So when they have all their money, they are thinking about, we need to create an island for our youth. And they have a youth island that is man-made. Yeah. They created it. Yeah, they got some space of the sea, the ocean, and then they made some island for the young people.
So when you came back, did you feel like becoming crazy?
No, I didn't.
Because if you are the president, things are easy to change.
Yes, yeah. But then also, again, lastly, I think on that point, like you mentioned, so I think some things are really beyond us. So you will wonder on the question of why the small roads are not being given to must. Sometimes also in trying to think like the president, you somehow get to understand. Though you may not excuse him, but you get to understand the corner that he's in. For instance, you look at your budget. You look at the percentage of the budget that you fund. You look at the kind of infrastructure and the kind of loans that you have and the kind of concessions that your government makes. Part of which is that some of these contracts will be given to this Chinese man. But also from the Chinese perspective, they also have got to find themselves in a situation where they've got to use their technology and leverage on it and their potential, given their population, right? So they also need a market, of which we had a market for their products, for their technology, for their talent, for all their other, the R&D and all that kind of stuff, right? So I think you do understand. From the political economy perspective also, at high advanced level, some of these things you will find that even when Museveni wants to give a contract to Maleka, he will end up giving it to Xinjiang something, right?
Yes, that's true.
You get it? So you have seen how your government prioritizes also has an impact on whether you have market for innovation or whether you will succeed. Then even the global politics, the global economics, the philosophies also have an interest, an influence of whether you'll be able to have international market for your product and something of that. So we're able to see the different areas, the dynamics of entrepreneurship. It's not just about you having the best product, but it's about a lot of factors that are at play. I think we've now understand that. So I think you've talked already things about the East African community, the African market and all that. It's all important. But now one thing that you will need to understand is there are also some historical issues that we need to how do I decolonize our minds from. Why was there partition of Africa?
Partition, scrum and partition.
Yeah, and do they...
The Berlin Conference. Remember the Berlin Conference? The White Paper.
Are those people who did that, are they willing to have Africa united? Do you know the impact of having Africa united? How it will collapse the economies of Europe and other countries like US. So they are fighting also to have that. But for you to be able to unite yourself, don't leave yourself in the hands of them. Because not everybody is fighting for market.
So the solution has to be organic.
It has to be you. Here. It has to be us Africans. If one solve Ugandan products issues, it has to be us Ugandans. It has to be East African people thinking through and uniting themselves. Because if you're going to leave it to US is going to be using you for your raw materials, sources. I can tell you we are richer than those people, but it's about our mindset, leadership, what we're doing. A lot of things, the policies and all that, so you can't really exhaust them at this point. But it means when you meet a minister, talk about these issues. When you meet whoever is in power, you're a member of parliament or who, talk to them these issues, because
whoever influences policy,
you have to talk to somebody who influences policy, because sometimes those people don't even know what they are supposed to be doing.
That's true.
No, they don't even know your problems.
They lose track.
So we have to be talking, we have to be communicating, and we have to participate in the politics. I'm telling you, if it is not you who is influencing your people in your network on who to vote, it's going to affect you as an innovator.
Now we have some people here who say, me politics. I'm never involved.
That mindset has to change.
You need to be
because you can
involved.
See it is the leaders who make some of those useless decisions in parliament. Now you're talking about something billions. What can that do to our road infrastructure? And do you know how road infrastructure affects entrepreneurship in terms of transport?
And distribution and marketing.
Okay,
so
Doctor, thank you so much. The other thing is actually with the funding itself.
Yeah.
Policies affect the funding. I've ever read about the venture capital policy in Uganda. It's a shame. If you go and read it, but let's not go there because I know time and everything. 30 seconds, Emily. 30 seconds, please. I know this conversation. I know he wants to tell you something about the.
So that is.
Thank you, Dr. Jimmy. In 30 seconds, us as innovators, we are always looking out for grants to give us money. I'm sure Victor must have written 5 today to get money. But do you think, 3, do you think money is like the only thing we need as innovators? Or is it like the most important thing we need as innovators? Because we always focus on money. And I'll give myself as an example. When you get the money, then what next?
It disappears.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that is a very important thing that she has talked about there. Actually, I was going to bring it out about the grant things. There's a term that has come up now that people who are grantpreneurs. entrepreneurs.
Wow, thank you. Talk about
So
almost all of
they-
us
they
here.
just
I'm not.
Almost.
now you see one of the things that our universities have become the way they are is because government was not funding the universities.
Okay.
So universities have mainly been funded by outside funders.
Yes.
So our universities have been working for foreign funders because the funders have interest of what they want, and most of the grants have been for either collecting data. If you go to our grants office, there's a lot of grants there on public health, clinical trials,
Okay.
for products that are developed somewhere. So they were using in our universities as research grounds for them. So most of the data is published for them to consume, to do whatever they want to do. So that's why focusing on grants is not a major goal, should not be a major goal of what? Entrepreneur.
Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Jimmy.
Thank you guys. It's been a wonderful conversation.
Dr. Jimmy is my senior that I look up to in this world of pharmaceutics, pharmaceutical sciences, and even pharmaceutical analysis, product development and everything around it. So thank you for really giving us your time. You just landed in Uganda 2 days ago, and then I hijacked you before the knowledge evaporates. And I'm like, no, you need to give us that concrete information, first-hand, lived experiences, observations, so that we can be able to get a glimpse of the real epitome of the knowledge that you actually garnered well there in China. So as we conclude this session, we normally have what we call a fun, rapid session of 10 random questions, whereby anything you mention is right. You don't have to explain. It's just a fun question to move like debrief the session, so that we engage the participants, the members, and even us ourselves. So thank you for giving us your time. And my name once again is Emmanuel Maleka Simba, and I'm a co-founder of this interesting platform, the Entrepreneurs Lounge, and this has been our 5th edition, and we are going upwards and onwards. So first question, to you.
Okay.
This is all about you. So it's hey.
Okay.
You can ask for water in case they need to. But just a 1 minute question. It can be even seconds.
Okay.
So favorite dish, ujogo or ugali?
Ujogo. People don't know what that is.
Okay, whatever that is, maybe you can tell us briefly.
It's
What is?
the delicacy in our community in Arua.
Okay.
It's made of beans pasted, but there's a way it is prepared with some vegetables.
Hey. I actually need to have a component of meat. What is the?
What is the mugoyo?
It's like a catog of beans and
It's not katogo.
I know mugoyo,
It's not katogo. It's a pasted beans, but the way it's prepared is different. Maybe when you go to Arua, ask for jogo.
Ujogo. I think I would like to try that.
Yeah.
Okay. Manchester United or Arsenal?
Man U, of course.
Okay. So you're an innovator, and would you prefer selling your formula to investors, or you would prefer actually making your products and selling them to end users directly?
End users.
End users. You like making money.
That's because they want me to answer one.
Okay. Okay, so are you a bookworm or a quick, innovative mind?
Should I answer that? Think quick innovative mind?
Okay.
You have me.
Okay.
Please be honest.
Okay.
Lab coat or no lab coat? Okay. One scientific. I know some guys here don't like lab coats and those for lab. One scientific principle you live by. Fact. Okay. Precise. Palma or Saka?
I'll answer for that.
Come on, pick
The
one.
man is a United.
No, no.
Palma or
You
Saka?
can choose one, yeah.
Saka is good.
Oh, bad.
He's finishing the statement.
No, you let me choose one. So
who will win the World Cup?
Uganda.
of course, Uganda is out.
It's never coming.
It's hard.
It's hard to predict.
Just pick one.
Last time it was
Argentina.
Maybe England this time.
England. It's never coming home. It may come home.
I'm not good at predicting that, but
okay. Messi or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo, of course.
I'm good.
I'm hot. Should I'm hot. I was hot on Palmer. I'm hot on Messi. Okay. Google or OpenAI?
I'm not very well versed with the that OpenAI, but for now, Google.
I know. Okay, and finally, Eddie Kenzo or Jose Chameleone?
This guy. Historically, Jose Chameleone.
Jose Chameleone is the greatest of all time in Uganda.
The goats.
The goats. We want to thank you so much once again. Thank you
inviting
for
me.
giving us the opportunity to speak to you. It has been amazing. And to those watching, this has been all for today's episode 5 with Dr. Jimmy Angupale, PHS. And I think we have had a wonderful time, right? Yeah. A lot of insights, a lot of innovation talk. And I think we should keep moving on well. Next week, we have Marvin. I think that will also be another great conversation for innovators and entrepreneurs here. But like we say, we meet next time, and I hope you have enjoyed each and every part of this. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. Bye.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you.